Hey, I'm Ryan Kern, and this is my assignment for kinesiology. And I'm going to be going over my lifestyle teaching lessons for a high school age group. And I chose skateboarding for my lesson, so I'm going to be doing that. And I'm here at the elementary school that I actually currently work at here in California, Southern California. So let's get started. So I'm going to be going over the lesson focus and what the main part of my lesson would be and how I would explain it, introducing the lesson to students. Okay, so skateboarding is definitely tricky. It's something that if I was teaching it, students as of yourself, you'd all be wearing knee pads, elbow pads, and a helmet. As you get out and start skateboarding more, if it's something you want to do, I would always recommend wearing a helmet. A lot of people don't, and I think that's not a smart move because there's a ton of really bad injuries that come from skateboarding, and that would be avoided by just wearing a helmet. But for the sake of safety here teaching skateboarding, I will be giving you guys all knee pads and elbow pads. So last week we went over and reviewed safety on skateboarding. What to do, what not to do. We went over movement and mostly safety aspects of skateboarding, and we practiced getting on a skateboard. So today we're going to continue that, and we're going to practice getting on a skateboard and then progressing into forward movement and momentum. So what's going to happen is you're each going to get one partner. So each partner will share a skateboard. You'll have your own set of pads and helmet, so you don't have to switch back and forth. That would take up a lot of time. So what we're going to start out by doing is taking the skateboard that you have with your partner, putting it on the ground straight in front of you. And the last time we did this, we practiced just getting on 1 foot, 2 feet like that. This time we're going to start out by practicing facing in a forward direction where you'd be traveling with the skateboard. So if I'm traveling that way, we're going to figure out what feels comfortable. Continue from there. So you're going to start with 1 foot, and then you're going to move, put the other foot on, and then straighten out your feet like this. So that adds another step from what we were doing before. Before, we were just facing that direction and doing 1, 2. But what we're going to be doing now is starting out as if we're about to make a pushing movement, but we're not going to do the pushing movement yet. We're going to start out here, put the front foot on, and then turn the back foot facing that direction. So what that does is that mimics what you would be doing when you're moving. So when you're moving, obviously you don't start like this and push that way. When you're moving, you start like this and you push, straighten out your feet. So what we're gonna do is when you're with your partner, if you need help with this point in your partner, you can hold your partner's hands as so, and you would start here with your back foot. It might be left, it might be right, depending on what you figured out last week. And then you're gonna hold on to the hands, left foot, turn the back foot. So remember, there's 2 steps. You put the back foot on first, left foot, turn the back foot to straighten out. Now the way we're teaching this, there's different stances in skateboarding. There's regular and there's goofy. Goofy is when your right foot is forward. Regular is when your left foot is forward. So that would have been something we would have gone over last week, and you would have figured out what stance is more comfortable for yourself. So I wouldn't be reviewing this now to you guys. So have you come up, once again, hands forward, grab your partner, your back foot's on, facing the same direction the skateboard's facing. You're gonna bring up your front foot, turn the back foot, and you're ready to go. When we're after that, we're gonna move forward, and this one you most likely will definitely need your partner's help with. And we're gonna do that same motion, holding on to the partner's hands, but this time instead of just standing still, we're actually gonna push with our back foot like this, and then bring our front foot and bring that foot onto the skateboard as so. Push, move forward. And now if you're somebody's partner who's helping them out, you have an important job of walking with them, making sure that you're not pulling them backwards or pulling them down. And you don't want to be going too fast at this point because it's really easy for the skateboard to slip out from under you. So you want to make sure before you get to that point, you're really comfortable with standing on the skateboard when it's still like this. And before you progress into forward movement, you want to make sure you can stand still like this without holding on to your partner's hands. So here's another example of what it would look like a little bit further back. Skateboard's down flat, your foot's on, your partner has your hands. Make a slow pushing motion and ride forward. Now, this is most likely going to take up an entire day of a lesson. If you're a little bit more advanced on the skateboard, what you can do is you can do that same motion without your partner helping you, and you can try to go from one cone to another cone, back and forth 3 times, and then compare that with your partner and see who's able to do it 3 out of 3 times, or 2 out of 3, or who's able to do it more. Just to add a little bit of competition with you and your partner, and make sure that reminds me that your partner that you're choosing is at a very similar skill level to you. So if you have some experience with skateboarding, or if you have no experience with skateboarding, try to get with an equal partner. So what I would do, if you have time during class and you feel like you're too advanced for just going back and forth, I have some cones that we're going to set up here, and you can go from point A to point B as many times as you can back and forth, or you can do best 2 out of 3, where if you feel like you might not make it back and forth every time, you can see who can do it more out of 3 times. Or if you're at an even higher level, because I know some of you do skateboard a lot, if you're at an even higher level, you can I have a set of cones for you and your partner, and you guys can compete with each other, and I'll set a timer, or I'll allow you to set a timer with one of the stopwatches that we have. Go for 60 seconds and see how many times you can go back and forth between point A to point B, and either try to beat yourself, or if your partner and you are on a similar level, try to match up with a partner. Now, don't try to get too advanced, and if you happen to get matched up with someone who has a much higher skill level than you, don't try to do the same things that they're doing. And if you're with someone who's at a lower skill level than you, I want you to spend some time really helping out the partner before you start to go into timing yourself doing the point A to point B. So that wraps it up until we get into our actual lesson planning. When you guys go out, grab a skateboard. I'm going to help you out. I'm going to be walking around, spending a little bit of time with each one of you hands-on, but I'm going to have to mostly divide up my time in between a lot of people, so it's going to be a lot of independent learning with you and your partner based off of what I've taught and what we taught last week. All right, let's get started.